becomes, I mean, you have way more stuff to sort of design in terms of the map, and especially if you randomly generated that, and it would also be a lot more art too. So yeah, it's something we might like to do in the future. If we were ever able to do a sequel for this, it might have an overworld, and I mean that is kind of a game we'd be interested in making, and unfortunately it can't really be this game. But we will. A lot of people are excited about the sort of outside of the dungeon type areas, and even some dungeons will feel slightly more outdoorsy, more natural light and that sort of thing. So they aren't all going to be really dark and kind of spooky looking. So you know,
and even these are probably a little bit darker in general.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, we are actually going to brighten the jail up just a little bit. I mean, we still do want it to be a little spooky and jail-like, but it is a little, it's kind of dreary. You know, we want the game to seem pretty fun, colorful, you know, very much kind of in that 16-bit era style and feel. Someone said they hadn't seen any NPCs yet, and how are those handled? We don't have any NPCs in this build. For anyone who's just jumping in, this is a really limited pre-alpha demo that we're kind of showing right now, both privately and, well, we'll show it at PAX East. But it only has one mode, which it isn't the full campaign, so we don't have continuous dungeons right now. It's kind of single rooms, and you drop from room to room and see how deep you can go. And we're calling it Endless Drop Mode. This will be a mode that's actually in the final game on release, but it isn't the main mode. The main mode will be this kind of story campaign with randomized continuous dungeons, full levels, bosses, NPCs, all of that. But this is more like a survival mode that we're just kind of showing because there's a lot of in-progress stuff in the main game that just isn't done yet. And so the NPCs, you will be able to find NPCs in the game, you know, kind of the way you would expect. They'll be hiding out in some rooms in a dungeon or running away from enemies possibly. But if you get close enough to them, they may actually talk to you. So we'll have some kind of a speech balloon that will pop up, and you'll be able to read that, or you can actually just walk away and the speech balloon will fade from view. So you know, we're not going to have the kind of like where you run into a character and you sit there and mash A button, you know, mash the A button to go through their text. I mean, that's fine for some kinds of games, but we want this to be much more fast-paced. So it's more of a kind of opt-in dialogue, if you want to look at it that way. But yeah, there will be NPCs with dialogue. You know, you'll be able to talk to some that are shopkeepers, and we haven't really decided how the shop system will work yet, whether we open up a menu or have some kind of like in-game, you know, have the items laid out sort of more like the early Zelda games, like the original Zelda when you would go into a cave type shop, or in Link's Awakening 2. So may do it like that, may do a menu, not quite sure. Let's see. Someone opened or linked to the TIG source. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's the correct TIG source link. So if you look up, anyone who's curious about Kobe's devlog on TIG source, just look up a little bit for. Looks like Banjalupe posted the link. I don't know if that was copied from someone else's conversation or something else. But yeah, that is the correct one. Pretty easy to search for and find too. Someone asked if the video would be replayable later, and yeah, we're recording it, so as long as all goes well on our end, we will post this on YouTube.
It also chunks it on Justin. I noticed like it's got it in segments on there. I don't entirely know, since we've been streaming nonstop, I don't really know if it does that based on time or what, but yeah, that'll stay up there, I think, probably, unless we decide to take it down and put our own thing up.
Someone said could have more active rooms, lots of enemies, but brighter and slower paced rooms. So yeah, I mean, we are going to have a pretty big variety of rooms. Like some will be brighter, easier to see. You know, maybe the kind of more puzzle-oriented rooms, we may make them a little brighter. So really, it's about not so much about fighting the darkness and finding your way around, is really just figuring out, oh, what do I have to do here? And then, yeah, some of the, you know, the combat rooms will be darker because, like, there will be essentially just, like, monsters lurking in the darkness kind of hunting for you. So yeah, we'll have a pretty wide variety, and we want to make the lighting a little more ambient and kind of natural feeling than it is right now. So that's one of the big visual things I want to work on after the Kickstarter has completed. And actually, if anyone is coming in kind of through Justin or through a link, this is Delver's Drop. It's a 2D action RPG. We're only a couple months in development, really, if you count kind of full-time development. And its targeted release date is October of this year for PC and Mac. So through the Kickstarter campaign that we're currently running, if we get enough funding and meet some stretch goals, we're also going to offer a Linux build in October. If that stretch goal isn't met, we're still going to offer a Linux build. It may just come later, sometime in 2014. But the game is also available, or will be available, sorry, in February of 2014 for iOS, Android, and Ouya. So that's actually 6 systems. If you back us for $15 at Kickstarter, you'll have access to all 6 of those systems and consoles. So again, that's PC, Mac, Linux, iOS, Android, and Ouya. And again, this is Delver's Drop. We're Pixelscopic. I'm Ryan Baker, Ryan Burrell, Kobe Utter. I'm the artist on the game. Ryan Burrell does a lot of the UI and design work, scripting, levels, that sort of thing. And Kobe over there on the far side is our programmer. So just catching up for anyone new here. We hope everyone backs us on Kickstarter. We only have about 10 days left. Let's actually see where we're at right now. So yeah, 10 days to go. It ends on basically midnight, I think, Central Time on Tuesday, March 12th. So you've got 10 days to go back us. We're right now at 1,613 backers, and we're getting close to 53 grand right now. So actually, we've gotten a really great bump in the last few days. So hopefully that kind of increase in progress will continue. So thanks to all of our new backers and old backers too, of course. There are a lot of people who have been around from the beginning. We hope a lot of you are watching the feed right now and enjoying us show off the new version of the game. Let's see. Okay, got to catch up on some questions here. So someone asked how much modding will be possible. For example, creating a wand that shoots fire bats.
We can actually do that right now, somewhat funnier enough. And yeah, all of that is available. So one of the more kind of like interesting...
Or one that shoots delvers. That might be slightly less fun.
I don't know about that one, but yeah. So basically, one of the more powerful things that is driving the game, and it's totally accessible to modability, is the template system that the database stuff is all worked on. So we have this kind of emitter system, and emitters are like common terminology for things that usually involve like particle effects. And I won't go too technical too deep, but basically our emitter system is set up where you can emit anything. Ryan Baker can tell you one of the first things that I did was I made crates explode goblins. Just to test. That was one of the very first early.
Well, and you made something that emitted walls, right? I don't know.
Yeah, and for a while we had crates that emitted walls.
That was really buggy. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. But yeah, basically, aside from player characters, virtually everything can be emitted from when an enemy gets hit or when
there are a couple rooms in here that spawn enemies, and that's how that's working.
Yeah.
When you trigger something.
So some other requests were a wand that shoots rotting meat or a wand that shoots gold coins. So, so yes, all possible. Would be really cool. How do you handle world partitioning or spatial partitioning? Just a grid or more advanced structure like dynamic objects? So I guess kind of...
It's as a technical question.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're asking for like if we do
Tiles,
spatial
basically.
partitioning. Well, they're actually
you mean the actual like the way that?
Well, yeah, like in big games with huge worlds, what happens is only a certain chunk of the world is loaded in at one point in time, and you stream in the other stuff as you get close to it. So we don't have a massive overworld. In fact, we don't have any continuous level that's hugely just huge.
Huge.
Yeah, it's a bad wording, but so we actually don't have any sort of spatial partitioning in terms of loading in, streaming in chunks of levels. What we do have, though, the physics system uses spatial partitioning to reduce the amount of active collision checks that it has to do. And then, of course, we have a lot of heavy-duty culling going on. So in terms of, like, if you wanted to have a gigantic world, assuming the actual logical data fit in memory, there would be no limit. There's no performance issue or performance reason to not have a world that's 10,000 by 10,000 tiles versus just screen size because of the visual culling, and then the physics also is optimized for that. So yeah, really the limit is how much memory does your machine have, and these levels, I don't know what they are in memory, but they're extremely small. Storing the tile map data, the object data is all really, really small. I have no idea what the theoretical limit would be for biggest level you could make, but I assume it would be pretty gigantic.
So, are you guys going to be editing the XML anymore, or are we kind of done with that?
It's kind of a janky process to do here, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry, we were editing some XML earlier. If anyone missed that, and showing what the different character properties could be. But unfortunately, we have to keep kind of switching screens, and it's not very fun to watch, I'm sure. But so actually, Burrell, would you mind recropping this?